Hello again, everybody, and welcome to our Vegas Voice political show, Seniors Vote. Our goal at the Vegas Voice is to put before you all the people running for elected office. I'm Dan Roberts, I'm publisher of the magazine, and as I said, our goal is to introduce you to all the people running for election. We just interview, you decide. We're very lucky to have somebody today who is running for mayor of City of Henderson, former police chief, and that is Hollie Chadwick. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hollie, I guess we could just ask you right from the start, why in God's name are you running for mayor for the City of Henderson?
Well, I tell you, I grew up here. I care about our community, and I still want to be in public service. So, you know, after 22 and a half years of being law enforcement, which I absolutely loved serving this community as a police officer, and then now that I'm retired and looking at the next part of my life, it's important to me to continue to serve the public and the community. And because I live in Henderson, I want to be a part of making sure we're having impactful, positive change for our community. You
know, you mentioned that you retired. That really wasn't part of your plan. I mean, you have a very unique situation. You were the Henderson police chief. You were the number one cop. And then all of a sudden, we now find out that you're going to be gone. Can you explain to us what happened and why?
Well, I wish I knew. I could tell you that they acknowledged they had no cause to remove me. I think at the end of the day, it came down to they wanted someone different. And, you know, I'm somebody who stands by integrity and what I believe in, and I don't believe that there should be overreach from city manager or city council into your police department. There's a lot of things that we were trying to fix and change with our police department to get us back on track, a lot of positive things going on. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, they changed city managers and they wanted to go a different direction. I'm not happy with the way it ended or the way I was treated.
Right.
After 22 and a half years of selfless service to this community, I felt like I should have been given a little bit more latitude or grace. I was not provided that. But having said that, with every challenge, every door that closes, another one opens, and you have to pick yourself back up and move forward. And being a cop for 22 and a half years, you learn how to deal with adversity and move forward. I know at the end of the day, and I know everyone else knows, that I did nothing wrong, and I stood by my integrity and character and the oath I took and swore to wear that badge, and I can hold that true to myself.
And as the police chief, looking back as to what happened, because that was just a mess to say the least, do you regret doing anything, or do you stand by what you did as the chief of police?
Well, as a whole, I think you always look back and say, maybe I could have done things better, or maybe I could have explained certain things better. Right. But as a whole, if you look at what we were doing as a police department, how we were building up our command team, how we were building up the rank and file, professional staff, sworn staff, we were doing amazing things. And, you know, it's truly a testament till now, because there's a lot of people that still support me in the police department and in the city. There's a lot of people that are disheartened that I'm no longer there. Mm-hmm. And yes, we have to move on because time is moving us forward. But it's also good to know that people respected what I was doing, respected how I treated them, and the community, the results were out there. You saw crime was down, self-initiated police proactivity was up, and we were doing the things we needed to do for this community.
And looking back on everything right now, would I be really out of control if I said this is more like a revenge campaign as opposed to you really want to help? How do you address that?
Yeah, I think people could look at it that way, but I have to be honest when I say that, why would I put myself through this?
That's the number one question.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't, you know, it was unfair, the false narratives that were pushed out about me for the last few months. Finally, when the city acknowledged there was no cause, that helped settle things down and say, well, she didn't do anything wrong, because I don't think the city liked that narrative. You know, the city pushed out, they wanted me to take hush money and sign an NDA. I would not do that because I had done nothing wrong. So moving forward, why would I put myself through more public scrutiny, knowing that they're going to continue to push a negative narrative out? It's because I truly care. That's the only reason. I do not like the limelight. I do not like being out in the public as far as in the media and all of those things. But I do believe in public service, and I do believe in doing the right things for this community to continue to help us flourish the way we need to. I live in Henderson, my family, my mom, everybody's in Henderson. We love it, and we want to continue to see it on the right path.
So with that in mind, your platform, should you become mayor, you're running for the following reasons, and what are you looking to do to improve the city?
Well, first of all, I think you need to make sure the City of Henderson staff and employees are treated fairly. It should not feel like a toxic work environment. They should not fear retaliation if they're doing things. People should be able to come to work and be happy and healthy and want to stay there for the length of however long they need to retire. And when you have that, then it permeates through the community, right? You have happy employees, not just police, not just fire, but the entire city. And then it permeates out into the community. On top of that, growing up here, I grew up in Las Vegas, and now I live in Henderson for the last 22 and a half years. I believe in education, and it's so important in the Valley. I had a great education growing up here. And whatever's happened to kind of knock us down in the educational realm, we need to make sure the proper schooling is there, not just for our youth, for the adults as well, right? Everybody should have an opportunity to get education so that they can move themselves forward. We definitely need affordable housing. That's huge. We need to make sure public safety continues to stay on track the way it is because, again, Henderson is one of the best communities to live in, and we want to continue to keep that going and moving forward. But we also want to make sure there's little stuff that goes on, too, as far as, water. We need to make sure we're not overbuilding and then putting ourselves in strife with water conditions. We need to make sure that we're balancing budgets within the city so that we're not relying on taxpayer money too much.
Right.
Because then what happens, all of a sudden we have to raise taxes or change what we're doing. And that can hit our community hard, but it can especially hit our seniors hard when a lot of people move here and on retired and on fixed incomes. And we have to be cognizant of that. So those are a lot of the things that are important to me. And then also making sure transparency, right? At the end of the day, constituents vote us into these offices, and they should be able to access us when they need to. Right now, you have a governance policy in play that you have to talk to staff before you can ever get to your city council people. That shouldn't be the case. If I want to talk to my city council person or whoever's in the seat of the mayor, you should be able to access them and have those conversations because your vote put them in office. Therefore, we should be able to have those conversations with you. And we shouldn't be afraid to tell you the truth, whether it's good news or bad news, tell you what's really going on.
But, Hollie, what should you be successful, or let's think positive, when you become mayor, you still have to deal with the same city council, the same people there. Can you work with them, or is it a question of, I'm throwing everybody the hell out? How is it going to be done? How do you work with a city council that really didn't come to your aid when you needed it?
Well, at the end of the day, that's what leadership looks like, is that you can go in a room with people that may or may not agree with you, and you can get them to unify and understand the common theme and the common goal is to take care of this community and make sure it continues to prosper. Right now, if you're watching city council meetings or the way they interact with each other, there's a lot of angst and strife just between them. That's permeating through the entire city and then the community. So at the end of the day, it's being the leader that I know I am. You go in and you unify everyone. People can agree to disagree. It doesn't mean you have to be mean to each other. You can still lead with kindness and act like adults and be the representatives and the leaders you need to be.
Well, let me ask you this. Now I'm going to put you on the spot because, again, the Vegas Voice is the leading senior magazine in town. We have McDonald Ranch. We have Sun City Anthem. We have Sienna. Okay, I'm a senior. I really am not involved with the politics. I didn't even know, what happened. But people should vote for Hollie Chadwick. For what reason?
Well, I can tell you my mom is a senior, and she lives in Henderson. She also donates and volunteers a lot of her time with our senior community activities. Mm-hmm. And she's always telling me about the little things that help the seniors. And that's stuff we need to be cognizant of. Well, one perfect example is where are the bus stops? A lot of seniors rely on that mode of transportation. But if it's a mile from where they live, that's difficult. Yeah. And who's going to have somebody walk a mile in the heat?
Yeah.
Right? So we have to make sure that we're the RTC, working with the RTC and our bus stops and making sure that where their stops are conducive to where our seniors live. We also need to make sure we continue the programs we have through the city we have meals. We have a lot of different opportunities for our seniors to get together. And I hear about the bingo games. I've heard those are quite those are quite the riot, but I stay away from those. If you're winning, you're in trouble. But, it's great. Just making sure the little things like that are going on and paying attention. Again, seniors are on fixed incomes. You need to make sure that whatever decisions we're making at the government level, are we being cognizant of those individuals in our valley that are on fixed income and maybe not be able to afford if we're now doubling what the water is to cost and other things like that. So it's just being cognizant, but it's also being there and present to listen to our seniors, because for them, it's the little things. It's how do I get to the grocery store? What's the medical services in town? How are we making sure that everything is catering towards our entire community? But don't forget about our seniors, because I do see that, especially in law enforcement, we had a lot of senior programs that kind of get chopped first as far as big picture stuff in the valley or in the state or even across the country. That impacts people that it shouldn't impact. And we shouldn't forget about our seniors who really got this country to where it is today, and they deserve everything we can give them.
Well, in the few seconds that we have left, if people want more information about you, they want to contribute, they want to volunteer, how do they get a hold of you?
We have a website. It's hollieformayor.com, and I'll spell it because my name's spelled a little different. It's HOLLIEFORMAYOR.com. You can also reach me on my cell phone, which is 702-313-6511.
There you go. We would like to have you back on, Hollie, as we get closer and closer to the election, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I look forward to talking with you all again.
You got it. And this is Dan Roberts for Seniors Vote, and we'll see you again next time. Thank you, Hollie.
Thank you.
Go.